right. So Kurt, I'm assuming you can hear me. I am going to go ahead and get the live stream started. We'll go like we did last time. I'll bring in Diva, then Alan. Actually, I'll bring you in next, and then we'll bring in Brian. So just doing brief little intros for each, and then we'll bring in Brian as featured guest. What the heck is on your head? I just scrolled over and saw you.
We gotta liven up the show. Come on, let's take it another level.
Wow. Rasta Kurt, I see it right there. Woo! Welcome to my world, everybody.
I feel you, Sue. I feel you.
He is a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know.
All right, I'm smiling now. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the live stream. Here we go. Welcome to the TDC Today Show communities. My name is Sue Roscoff. The Disability Channel, or TDC, is out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, showcasing abilities. TDC is committed to providing quality digital media production services, education, and employment programs by and for persons with disabilities and veterans. TDC offers digital media production, video production, post-production, social media, and podcasting creation, production, and support. TDC offers education and employment programming, which includes digital media courses to persons with disabilities who are unemployed and underemployed. TDC also offers community partnerships. Through partnerships and sponsorships, community partners and organizations become ability champions by supporting media created by and for people with disabilities. We are your USA team and have an amazing lineup for you tonight. I am, without hesitation here, going to go ahead and bring in our wonderful co-host, Miss Denise Vargas, the lovely diva, to join us and say hello. How are you doing, diva?
I am fabulous. How is everybody doing? How are you doing, Sue? You're looking fabulous today.
Great as always. Always happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. I hear we have some awesome guests today.
This is going to be a fun night. We are bringing in one of the wow, how do I want to say this here? Close friends. I'm going to start there. I'm thinking family. You want to just give 1 second here to explain what exactly is family?
You know, I love the word family because it is friends that are so dear to us that we really think of them as family. So they have friends that become family. There you go, family. And we are definitely a family here.
I love that so much. And speaking of family, we're going to bring in our next fun friend, Alan Holmes out of California. Come on in and say hello. So glad to have you here again tonight.
Good evening, good afternoon, happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the family. It is an honor and privilege. Alan Holmes, also known as Master Connector, where I specialize in connecting business owners, entrepreneurs, and consumers. But tonight, oh my goodness, it is a tail end. People who know me, I do a Wednesday with the incredible Emily Gomer and Kurt Roscoff, where I'm MC Holmes, and I'm always bragging and talking about how it's not about me, it's about we, and just sharing the amazing Disability Channel, Jay Story and the World of Abilities. Thank you so much. And of course, Project Die Hard, where someone told me as a fellow veteran that someone from Project Die Hard is here. Did I hear right, Miss Sue? Am I? Yes, ma'am.
You absolutely did hear correctly. And I'm gonna go ahead before we bring in the founder and president of Project Die Hard. First, I'm going to bring in a fellow ambassador of Project Die Hard. So I get to have bragging rights that Kurt and I are both ambassadors with this wonderful organization. And it looks to me like we don't just have Kurt Roskoff, we have Kurt Rostikoff joining us tonight. So Kurt, come on in and say hello.
Hello, everybody. I want to come in with the key word of belonging. A lot of times you look at a screen, you say, which of these do not belong? And you may be tempted to think it might be me, but I just came from another event, folks, and they were talking about a lot of stuff that got deep, and we were talking about afros and, the shoes. What do they call those shoes that are kind of tall? What do you call those that have the
Stiletto?
but we were talking about bell bottoms and stuff. So we were talking about trying to be somebody we're not, and different groups. So here at the Disability Channel, we're talking about communities, and really the whole initiative is meant for geographics. Communities geographically, coast to coast, Hawaii, Alaska, and to just really grow this USA presence community by community. But when we talk about communities, there's also demographic communities. So obviously I'm thinking of the Caribbean and stuff like that. We're in this Rastafarian hat as Kurt Rostakop. So we're here at the Disability Channel to showcase abilities and to be an edutainment, to educate, but yeah, entertain. Let's have some fun with this. So thanks, Sue, and I look forward to today's program. It's been a long time coming that we have our friend that allowed us to be ambassadors at Project Die Hard. And stay tuned to see if after tonight's show, if I remain an ambassador. We'll see. Back to you, Sue.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kurt. As I said earlier, you are like a box of chocolates. I never know what I'm gonna get. So we have fun here. We have to. But on a more serious note, I do want to give a proper introduction to a wonderful friend, Brian Gibson. He is the founder and president of Project Die Hard. And I know on here we have talked about Project Die Hard multiple times. Like you said, Kurt, long overdue to have Brian joining us here on the show tonight. A little background on him. I'm going to give a little snippet and then I'm going to pass it over to Brian to continue. But Brian was originally born in Traverse City, Michigan, to a Navy career family. And he was not only raised all over the United States, but all over the world. He has seen so many places. He ended up in Seattle, Washington, and through his Navy, I just said Navy, through his Army career, he joined the Army. He served our military for 26 years as a combat medic. He is now retired and has moved in a direction that once his story unfolds here, you'll understand more where we're all coming from and why we're so excited to be part of the Project Die Hard organization. So, Brian, so glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for being here. I'm going to pass it over to you if you would kindly tell the world about who you are and how you got here and what you're doing with us here today. Over to you, Brian.
Hey, thank you all for allowing me to be here. Yes, it is overdue. Scheduling. That's all what it is, folks. It's scheduling. In our Monday mission podcast we were in a meeting and Kurt and Sue went, hey, what are you doing Wednesday? Our guest kind of had an emergency come up and stars aligned and here we are.
We are grateful. Like we said, so long overdue. So you and I'm going to give you a chance here to give the background. And I
Okay.
know we
Uh,
also have this great connection with the Disability Channel beyond. So I'm going to pass it back to you.
okay. Well, to start, yes, folks, my name is Brian Gibson. I commonly go by the handle of diehard6. I'm the founder and president of ProjectDieHard.org. We are a faith-based, scripture-led veteran nonprofit working to bring hope to veterans in a nutshell. Personally about me, yeah, I did 26 years. I self-medicated with alcohol to try to fight my demons up until the point where I had a 45 in my mouth. And that's when God saved my life. Everybody goes, well, how did he save your life? A phone call from a fellow veteran that invited me down to a church outing where the pastor there saw something was wrong and took the time to listen. Yeah, that was 2015. So I retired out in 2017. About 6 months before I retired, I get the phone call from the wife of one of my best brothers. We did some very hairy stuff in some very hairy situations. Uh, she called me going, Doc, 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 what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, take a breath. I need to know what's going on. She goes, Eric's hanging in the garage. That's when I went back to my father and said, you saved a wretch like me, a sinner, somebody who threw you under the car long ago with everything I've seen. You saved me. For what reason? And hence Project Die Hard was born. Uh, that's the nutshell.
That is the nutshell. It's a heck of a nutshell. The At this point now, I'm going to fast forward things a bit. Tell us the current status for Project Die Hard.
The current status of Project Die Hard is we are developing 20 acres and a 10,000 square foot building that was donated to our mission. Uh, when that facility is completed, it will provide skill training, counseling, therapies, transitional housing for 10 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families for up to a year. It is named Forward Operating Base Rush after Sergeant Courtney Rush of the United States Air Force. She lost her fight to the demon. Her demon was the crew chief on the Angel flights, bringing our fallen home. That's the nutshell there. The big thing that I want to say is thanks to Jay and the Disability Channel, okay? Because I got to show you guys something. Um, I premise this before I share. We only take the best for those we serve. So, take a look at that. The Disability Channel. We chose the Disability Channel. Why? Because their programs are sound. Their success rate is outstanding. Why wouldn't Project Die Hard want those programs on our facilities? I mean, I just can't say enough. Okay. So the faster we get our facilities built, the faster the Disability Channel really makes a presence in America.
Yeah. So with the facility that's currently in Macanda, Illinois. We
Yep.
have there's a space there. There's and more coming. You want to talk a little bit about what's there now?
Right there, right now, is a 10,000 square foot building that used to be a daycare. Uh, November 2023, we actually opened it up to in-person events. We have met the requirements with the kitchen and the bathrooms and all that fun stuff you got to deal with. But if you have a ministry or a nonprofit organization that wants to hold a venue or needs a venue in Southern Illinois and to hold an event to bring hope to veterans, reach out. We share our blessings. The key thing that my team knows is teamwork makes the dream work, and together everyone accomplishes more. Maybe that leads to something what Kurt was saying about community.
That sure
There
sounds
you,
like it.
there you go. Well, what I want to do, folks, is we're talking about in a nutshell. Well, I want to crack this nut, and I really want to, bring forth something for all of our viewers and listeners out there, that this is not just a conversation of edutainment where we're educating, entertaining. This is a proposal. This is a request. This is an ask to get involved in this. Jay and the Disability Channel team is excited what's going on across the Canadian, country of Canada, and what's kind of developing. 10 years of hard work here across the U.S. with so much room to grow. It seems like we're still looking for a big beginnings yet on the Disability Channel side of things. So we are excited at the Disability Channel to grow with Project Die Hard, and I connected to this in this type of setting. It was a Facebook Live with Brian a couple years ago with a friend from the Happy Neighborhood Project, the happiest place in the world for business people, but a separate Facebook Live with one of our contacts. And I was on there blabbing away. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, we got another guest, and here this other guest was Brian. Well, I think you can kind of tell why I talked to Brian for an hour after that live stream. And that to me is, I think, what's happening here. And Sue, you obviously got involved because I committed 2 years ago and he kept learning about this, and we share this interest to save the lives of veterans. Alan, you two learned about it through Sue and me and otherwise, but Alan, can you kind of tell your story about how you heard about Brian and Project Die Hard and this whole discussion we've cultivated here to save the lives of veterans and deal with veteran suicide? What has been your beginnings with this, Alan, and where are you now with Project Die Hard?
Well, first of all, as always, as a veteran in the U.S. Army, 13 Bravo, I am just humbled to every time I speak to Brian, because my story actually started a little bit further back, probably earlier this year, when I was on there with another young lady that was a contract, and she got me on the phone, and she knows, as many know, that my wife has mental illness, and she knows that I've been in many crises. And at one point, I got on the phone with her, and she said, "Alan, what's going on? Can you call me? Can you talk to me?" And I said, "Well, we just had our first one-on-one," and all of a sudden, she says, "I have a veteran in crisis right now." I said, "Oh, okay. Let me talk to him." Well, she's with his mother, and then it kept going back and forth. And finally, I said, "You know what? Let me think." Oh, Brian Gibson. I reached out to him at night. He called me back the next morning, and we had a conversation. And that's kind of where I really began. And I said, I've got to get a hold of this much more. And fast forward to when I had the radio show with you, Kurt, and I became MC Holmes. And I kept hearing about Project Die Hard, and I said, it's got to be the same Brian. Oh, Brian Gibson. Oh, my goodness. This is not, I don't believe in the coincidences. Anybody knows me, I know that this is a blessing from heaven, because veterans have this camaraderie that even if we don't know each other directly, we know them indirectly, because we have a follower of never leaving a brother behind. And Project Die Hard has been part of my world, really indirectly, since I left back 1990, when I was 3 days before the Gulf War. and it somehow I knew I was going to have this conversation. I just didn't know with who and with one. So it's been a probably almost say 35 years in the making. And this has been an amazing journey. And through your efforts, Kurt, for allowing me to be MC Homes and being part of the Disability Channel and community, the essence of business. I'm the master connector for building it. That's kind of my tagline, but this is the community and your family, as Diva calls it. So thank you for bringing that up, Kurt. And thank you again, Brian, for what you're doing for so many veterans and how we are going to definitely shape the community by just being there. And by the way, that flyer, as Kurt knows, I'm a little nosy. I want that flyer so it can accidentally on purposely show up on the Master of Connection show at the end of it in various other places around the globe so we can be a beacon, as you say, of hope for every man, woman, and veterans and their families around the globe. Thank you so much for allowing me to chime in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. I do want to pass this back to Diva to see what thoughts she's got to share at this point, because I know she's been very familiar with all of the things with Project Die Hard, and just want to give you a chance to chime in, hon.
Yeah, well, as I always said, I am so, I love your mission. I love the fact that you are so open, because a lot of people, they have missions and they believe in their mission and they want to change the world, but you are completely open with how this mission came into your life, and to know that you're talking about that someone listened to you. Sometimes you just need that one person to listen to you. We often go about our days and sometimes we don't even smile at people on the street. We're just going by like in our own little world. But what if that one person that you cross paths with is that one person that needed that smile, that ear? And like you said, when you ask someone, how's your day going? Don't just ask it like, hey, hi, how are you? How you doing? All right, bye, see you later. No, know that if you're asking that question, ask it with an open heart and know that, hey, they may need to speak. They may need to have you sit with them and listen to them, have a conversation. That can change a person's world, just the same way that it changed your world with that pasture. So thank you for being so honest, so open. We love you. We love your mission. Keep on going.
Awesome. So, Brian, I'll pass the mic back to you to share what's on your mind, because I know your nuggets are gold. So,
My nuggets aren't gold. They are not gold. It's just, yeah, to be honest, anybody at any time can request our financial records. We have nothing to hide. I believe in honesty because that's what's wrong with a lot of missions out there. I don't, I'm not tooting that I'm any better than anybody else, but I don't take a salary because I feel that if I'm making a decision on a veteran's life, money cannot have a function in that decision-making process. I'm not against salaries because, we're going to hire people to run our facilities, but I just can't see why some people that run nonprofits need to make $500,000 a year in a salary. I just can't see it. Is that a nugget or is that just a gripe? I don't know.
it's a reality. That's one thing. Working with you, I know where I stand. We know where you stand. There's not any mystery here. There's a mission in mind. I would love it if you would share the statistic again here. I know it's something
Okay.
that's come up before, but I think it speaks volumes.
As of the 2020 census, veterans make up 6.4% of America's population. Very small number, right?
Hmm.
But veterans make up 57% of every suicide in the nation.
Yeah, let that one
That's
sink in.
that's a number I can't justify.
It
We're
is,
we're one of the smallest demographics, Hurt, but we're the largest contributing demographic. Hmm.
that's a piece that needs to be addressed. And it should be getting addressed in many ways. This is one way that we personally can make a difference here with what Project Die Hard is doing, with what it stands for, bringing hope to veterans so that they know. And one thing that I think people forget is that there are more people that care about you than you realize. There are more people out there depending on you. There are people that care and want to make that difference because we all have value. We all bring different things to the table. That's where with what you say over and over about teamwork makes the dream work, it's because it takes a team. We don't any one of us have all the things needed to make this all work. But individually what we can bring forward makes a difference.
Again, I saw a quote today. If you have two leaders, you have zero leaders. Okay? But a leader is only as strong as the team. I take no credit for all the accomplishments of Project Die Hard. I give that to my team and, well, God first, and then to my team. Do I not?
Always.
But I will take anything that goes wrong in this mission. I'll take full responsibility for it. That's just the type of leader I am. Because if it messes up, it's on my shoulders, no one else's.
So I want to give the mic back to Kurt for just a moment here to share where you're at with things as an ambassador, as having been on both sides of things here. You are deeply involved with Project Die Hard and with the Disability Channel. So I want to make sure you have a chance here to share your actually final thoughts here as we are closing up.
Yeah, well, as we're in here producing this in the Zoom format in the chat, Brian put a graphic. I just want to bring it up because I think it is that nugget and that real tangible thing to latch on to. Forward Operating Base Rush. We're talking about a studio that is committed to, serve veterans from the Disability Channel. So with that, we're talking about Digital Ventures. Digital Ventures is an educational program that has been running for over a decade from out of Canada, available to the world. And for sure, with what we're doing here is Team USA here. And, so please know that in Macanda, Illinois, we have a location they're ready to serve. And obviously, like in these formats, we're ready to go in all virtual formats so that wherever our veterans are, we're here to serve. Thank you to the Disability Channel and Project Die Hard for everything we're doing in this veteran arena. And now we need you, our viewers and listeners.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. So before we do go, though, I want to give Brian one last chance to share a final thought.
My final thought to all the viewers and listeners, find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. That's the important one, YouTube. Find us on YouTube. We need as many subscribers as we can get because, funding is always a big issue with nonprofits. We hit 1,000 subscribers. YouTube pays us? Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah, people like, follow, share. I My team knows when they say, "Hey, we want to spend this money on marketing." What's the answer? No, because I'd much rather buy a breakfast for a veteran at our fellowship breakfast than pay for advertising. I'm sorry, folks. I'll never spend $10 million on a Super Bowl commercial. I'm sorry.
Focus is always on our veterans. That is the bottom line. That's why we're here. That's what Project Die Hard stands for and stands behind. That's what we do.
Can I just say one more thing?
Please.
So Brian just said something so powerful. What if there are people out there who want to help and they don't have the funds, right? Because a lot of people are struggling right now. But YouTube, how amazing is that you can give for free? Just subscribe, share with everyone that you know, ask them to subscribe. That is how you can really give and share the mission. And it doesn't hurt that every time you share and you get another subscriber, YouTube will pay you. How awesome is that? So definitely share, even if you think that you can't afford to give monetarily, you can give by sharing. You can give by subscribing.
Excellent. We do need that support. That's what community is all about, helping each other out, and together we will grow. And I appreciate this chance to be able to be part of the Disability Channel with the Today Show in this community format, and that we have the honor of having our founder and president with Project Die Hard here tonight. And Brian, so much appreciation for what you do, for all the time you spend, and around the board here, Alan, with all the things you do, man. I appreciate you so much. We do actually have, I'm going to share one more thing. Alan, with your podcast, can you take a moment again, share it with us? When is that? How do we find you? Oop, and actually we got to unmute first. That magic button.
This is what happens when I that's why Emily and Kurt have me as my podcast engineers. They make sure that I don't mute myself throughout the anyway, yeah, on Wednesdays 8 a.m. Pacific, I am the MC Holmes, as Mr. Kurt Rothko so elegantly deemed me, and so that's what I do, and that's what the show is. But also, just to let you know, it is also going to be on the Massive Connectors LinkedIn group, and of course, Massive Connectors YouTube channel, where accidentally, like we say, on purpose, you'll find this segment talking about our favorite friend here for tonight's guest, Mr. Brian Gibson and Project Die Hard, who I am so honored and privileged to be a part of, one veteran to another. I love you, brother. Let's get these numbers up. Let's support Project Die Hard by raising those numbers up and see what happens. Yes, Master Connector, your big uncle, as they call me, watching you, or 13 Bravo having his brothers back always. The Navy, Air Force, Marines, we love you. Each one of you, Project Die Hard, back to you, Sue. Thank you for allowing me a part of this amazing mission tonight.
Awesome. Thank you as always, Alan. And we do have an easy way for people to keep up with what's going on with Project Die Hard. Monday nights, we have Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update. So 6:30 p.m. Central every Monday night, you'll find our crew here back online. It's easy to find us, like Brian was saying. You can reach out and view us every Monday night on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. We're easy to find. And that is how you can keep up. That Mission Monday update, that is where you find out all the latest and greatest of what is happening with Project Die Hard. So, Brian, we thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for all the things going on with Project Die Hard and this connection we have with the Disability Channel. So happy to be here. And for all of us, as always, we thank you.